Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Tech Tips. Today we're going to be showing you point of impact shift, or POI shift. POI shift, essentially what it is where the gun shoots without the silencer and where it shoots with the silencer. Usually there's a 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, something like that shift in the group, not the accuracy. The accuracy should remain the same or get maybe even a little bit better with the silencer because the gun is a little bit more enjoyable and more shootable. But people want to know, professional marksmen, snipers, people like that, they want to know where their group is going to shift. Is it going to shift down and to the right, down to the left? Usually that repeats every time, but they want to know that in case they have to take the shot without the suppressor, for instance. Anything to add to that, Austin?
Well, we've got two platforms out here today. We've got an M40A5 with its FA762SS as well as the PSR7. It's mounted right now. We've got Griffin Mark 1 with a PSR5, and we've also got Mark 12 SPR Mod H with the Allen AM5. And so we're going to compare these systems. One thing to note is that we're shooting 168 grain gold medal match in the M40A5, and the other two rifles we're shooting 55 grain Swiss Ruag ball.
So yeah, let's get to it, and I hope you enjoy the video.
I cannot get that click out of there.
So that was pretty sweet. Got to see those cool rigs shoot. They were all really quiet. They all looked really accurate too. All pretty comparable, it seems like.
Yeah, I was happy. I was a little concerned that we might not get the accuracy out of the ball. I know the Ruag is pretty good stuff. The M40A5, I was on my second range trip. That second round, I don't call it a flyer, so I don't know what happened. This ammo was purchased through CMP. It shot pretty well overall. POI shift landed right on top of my unsuppressed with the PSR7. With the Surefire, shot two nice little bug holes. The gun really wanted to shoot. A little bit of windage shift there. I think that's like about 3/4 minute, 5/8 minutes, something like that. So pretty tight.
And that's what you would expect on a stiff barrel, like a bull barreled gun like that, correct? You'd expect less shift?
Yeah, I'd actually expect a little more because it's a 25-inch barrel, but it is a pretty rigid profile, so a very heavy gun.
Yeah, and usually the lighter weight barrels tend to shift more, is that correct?
Yeah, lighter and longer.
Okay.
will shift more.
So if you have a light hunting barrel, for instance, like
a mountain rifle,
right,
shift a lot.
So that would, and what could you get out of a mountain rifle versus some sniper rifle?
Mountain rifle with a long barrel, like a 24, maybe we get 3 minutes.
Okay.
Down.
And that would be normal.
That would be pretty normal.
Okay, cool. Because that's a lot of the times we get customers asking us questions about what they should expect out of POI shift from different firearms and stuff like that. And obviously with our company, we tend to shoot a lot of accurate rifles. But for a lot of the consumers out there that are using these silencers, potentially on hunting rifles, lightweight stuff like that, it's not uncommon for that 3-inch shifter.
Yeah, the Mark 1 16-inch here is actually a lighter contour. It's more of a medium contour. And it put its first 3 rounds real tight. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, it's about a half an inch.
Yeah, it's got to be
center to center.
Right.
Yeah.
And then put the suppressor on, and it shot a nice little clover leaf, about a ½ inch as well. Shift on that one was something a little bit less than the Surefire on the M40. We probably inside ½ minute left, and a little bit low. So we're probably like I'd call it 0.4 MOA left, and maybe like 0.1 or 2 down. The Mark 12 shot real nice. I don't call that a flyer. Gun broke clean every time. So with the suppressor, we had that one round that was high, and I don't know what to make of that. It sort of seems like that would shift your POI to where it's actually a vertical high shift, which means that it's a little less irregular. Of course, this is mounted like crane to crane spec by PRI with the crush washer on the muzzle brake. I never really agree with that. Overall, really good performance for the OpSync. I want to say, sorry, Allen Engineering AM5.
Yeah, I mean, they all were very accurate. You know, obviously Surefire has a great name in this business. You'd expect high performance from them. The PSR 7 seemed to essentially match it.
Yeah, the Mark 1 rifles are pretty fantastic, especially the 16-inch guns.
Right.
And the Allen cans on the Mark 12, that's legendary stuff.
Yeah, so for people that are watching this video and don't know a whole lot about POI shift, what we're showing today are kind of really accurate rifles that have pretty minimal POI shift.
Yeah, you have to call these rifles kind of exemplary.
Yeah, and for people using hunting rifles, stuff that you buy at your sporting goods store and stuff like that, it is not uncommon, like you said, for a 3-inch shift or something like that. When do you think someone should contact customer service about unusual POI shift?
If you put your suppressor on and you've got like probably 8 to 12-inch shift, at that point that's indicative of gross misalignment. And at that point you want to bring into question the barrel thread quality, possibly get that looked at by a gunsmith. If you've got flyers where you're missing like a target like this, that may indicate more like a graze or possibly real risk of strikes.
Yeah, in our 17 years history of making silencers, we've noticed by and large that people that have that excessive amount of POI shift, 6 or 8 inches or more, it's usually because the barrel it was not cut very accurately in terms of the threading on the end is not really quite quality.
There's a lot that can go wrong there. The barrel could not be lined up to the lathe when the threads are cut, so they're cut perfectly but not in line with the bore of the barrel. Or there could be a little bit of quality issue, like a ding on the thread shoulder.
It could be any number of things.
Yeah, any number of things.
But essentially that's when you should start looking into it.
Also, when you have lower quality barrels that have some stress in them, none of these barrels obviously have much in the way of stress, because generally you'll start to see stress within 5 rounds fired. So as they're warming up, they start to shift.
So the bullets start walking around?
Yeah, and that's the type of barrel where, yeah, you could get a squirrely or POI shift on a barrel with stress, because it could change the harmonic qualities of the barrel to put the silencer on, but that wouldn't be something you'd expect from a quality barrel.
Yeah, and usually, like anything else, the more money you spend, usually the more accurate you're going to get out of something, whether it's a barrel or
yeah, that's optic. Generally true.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of the hunting rifles that are in that $500–600 or so $700 mark are usually not doing quite as good of accuracy as you know, multi-$1,000 precision rifles like this.
Yeah, and generally, if you put a can on a precision rifle, it just begins to be more shootable because you have a little more weight out front. The gun doesn't want to move around as much. Recoil's more controlled. There's no sound.
Right. Lastly, I'd like to touch on something that I talk a lot about with people, which is, you know, if you're a competitive shooter, if you're going on a trophy hunt, something that's really critical where you want to make sure that you get the accuracy that you need, just to delete those variables, you know, shoot the can with the can on, or shoot the gun with the can on, zero with the can on, and hunt with it, or competitively shoot with the can on if you're going to use a suppressor.
I zeroed this gun in like 5 minutes on a piece of steel, so my windage is just because my zero is not that great yet.
Right, right. But accuracy was great. Anyways, hope you guys learned something today. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend, like and subscribe to the channel, and hope this helped you out understand a little bit about POI shift.